gonna beat the bomb, Kyle, is when I use my tremendous stock earnings to take you out to a juicy steak dinner. Ooh, wait.
10 seconds!
It's loading.
Remember, hurry!
Loading.
5 seconds!
And we're in. What the?
Hello, post-MLK slopers. Tim Knight here with a video update for Tuesday, January 17th, 2012. No change on the ES. Interesting. Let's talk a bit about what's happened between Friday's close and today, because I think that tells a lot. One would have expected, looking at, say, the euro, for this thing to take a hard tumble. So here's, we closed on Friday the 13th, and then all the, in quotes, bad news hit. S&P downgrade on 9 countries. Downgrade on Monday of the EFSF, if I have that right, the Stability Fund. Declaration from a senior S&P person that the Greek default would be very soon. And, add to the other rash of news like, cruise liners with 4,000 people tipping over and other nasty stuff like that. And what was going on yesterday? What was going on in the wee hours this morning? Up, 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 up. Everything up. The euro exploding higher on all this bad news. The ES exploding higher on all this bad news. And, on my on the blog, whose ads you might want to click as a thank you for all these videos I'm making, on the blog, I mention about how you should use emotions as a guide. That is, when you're feeling greedy and you can do no wrong, that's when you should probably go to cash, or even do the opposite of anything you think. And when you're feeling like you're an idiot and you can't do anything right and you should probably never trade again in your life, that's probably when you should go all in with everything you've got. And the latter is kind of how I was feeling this morning, because having watched, and as I've said repeatedly, I've not been aggressively short since, I don't know, the Kennedy administration. I mean, just too scared to. I'll be honest with you. I'm just too scared to. So I haven't been aggressively short. So I came into the day, fully short, but 60% cash. All the same, a short is a short, and when you're seeing the ES and the euro climb and climb and climb, it's a little disheartening. And in the wee hours of this morning, and I'm sad to say that I'm inclined to wake up in the wee hours these days, just because I'm so distraught by this market. You look at it, it's up 13 or whatever it was. It's disappointing. But it is what it is. And so the bullish news is that in spite of all kinds of bad news, the market keeps going higher, which could suggest that, to use a phrase that everyone's using, all of a sudden everything's priced in. All the bad news is priced in. There's, Greek could announce the default right now and things would probably rally, because the general idea is like, okay, we got it out of the way. Good. Whew. So that's the bullish news. The bearish news is, and I'll back up to 10 days, the bearish news is this and this and this. That is the complete failure on the bull's part to make any rally stick. All year, they have been succeeding at breakouts and then dropping the baton. Breakout, fizzle, breakout, fizzle, breakout, fizzle, breakout, fizzle, day and day again. Now, to their credit, they are making a series of higher highs each time, so they are making progress. And also to their credit, things like the NQ are being very strong. Today, in spite of the ES being pretty much unchanged, the NQ closed up over 16 points. So that's a success. That is a success for the bulls, no doubt about it. But my point is that it's not really sticking yet. if we looked at the index itself, let's do a 10-year daily on this. On the one hand, this descending trend line represents, pretty decent resistance. However, this breakout is complete, but there's a huge asterisk next to that because this is hardly a gangbusters breakout. Each of the past several days, it's kind of peeked its head over the tip of this line and kind of gone limp every time. So one would have expected after the Jan 10 for it to just fly higher, but it's been just doodling around, and we reached the highest levels the S&P has seen this morning since last August 1st, but it just kind of wimped out. So the possibility, the prospect of this thing really wimping out and doing what I want to see, which is just completely fail that breakout and even better break that trend line, is still very much on the table. So we have not reached the bears are all dead and let's just all give up point yet. I'll also note on the kind of bearish on stocks kind of chart or ledger, as it were, bonds continue to be kind of pointing the direction toward bearishness in equities. In spite of every reason to sell off, bonds have been kind of struggling and grasping and clawing their way higher, which is kind of incredible because let's face the simple fact. Equities have been up all year. Now, all year is 10 trading days, but equities have been up all year long. But so have bonds, pretty much. I mean, they're stronger. They are not far away from threatening the highest levels they saw back on the 19th. If we break above this line, that would be a huge positive for equity bears. And it has been struggling mightily to do just that. But it remains to be seen. Everything is still in this limbo state of, wait and see. I suppose earnings will help. Earnings will start tumbling in this week to some degree. I think I read about over 10% of the S&P reports this week. And the next week, then it's an avalanche. It really starts coming. So by the end of next week, the whole realm of earnings should be adding some clarity to what's going on. Now, let's look at a few indexes here. As far as the NASDAQ composite goes, still bullish, still above that breakout line, but not exactly a heroic close today. The NDX also finally, after all this time, inched its way above this descending trend line, but here again, not in any sort of dramatic fashion. Financials were pretty weak thanks to Citi. Here, now I'd mentioned this island reversal. That island reversal is still very much intact. That line is not been penetrated. And we fell down over 1.5% today in Citibank C, which I never trade, but it closed. Gosh, how close was it to the day's lows? Within a few pennies of the day's lows, so down over 8% on Citi. So brutal on that one. On the bullish side, and I'm not biting, but real estate could be possibly okay if we do get that follow through. This could be among the strongest. DRN was up about 2.5% today, and that's the triple bullish, and the double one URE was up over 1% today. Done a little bit of a better job breaking out, and this isn't at all a bad pattern right here. This isn't a bad pattern, but as we nice bullish patterns can disappoint. Last year I was very smitten with Activision. This was a really handsome bullish pattern, but look what it's done since then. Breakout, dissipated, and it's back in this trading range again. Hasn't done a thing. So not all these things follow through. I remain very enamored of not precious metals per se, but miners. The Gold Bugs Index, $HUE, Very nice reversal today. Let's change this to candlestick form. We had a huge bearish engulfing candle here, and a nice pull away from this level. It had over a few days really sparked quite a bit higher. The breakdown that was happening on the 29th got reversed, and we'd been pushing higher. But today was a nice drop, down about 1.5%. Coincidentally, it's very similar to financials. And so, sorry for showing you the analog yet again, but just to beat a very dead horse, if we compare these two items, you can see, let's chop off the big drop there, hasn't happened yet, hope it does. You can see kind of what I'm driving at here. Yeah, so I don't know precisely where on the analog we are here, but something awfully close to late July '08, and you know, this is what I'm naturally hoping for. If this transpires, obviously this will be one of the great shorts of the year, and I'm remain optimistic. As far as GDX itself, which not coincidentally looks almost exactly like what you were just looking at, it was down over 1.6% today, in spite of the fact, and I would emphasize this, gold was up almost a full percent, and silver was up over 1%. So it's not like precious metals are tumbling. I mean, the miners fell all by their lonesome, so cool. Okay, that is all I've got to say. I will bid you a good evening, and we'll just keep watching closely because nothing is clear yet at all. Good night.